Okay, it's October 28th, and I'm in the backyard, and there's lots of colors still, but I'm getting ready for winter cleanup. So I went through and cleaned the backyard up. Let me show you what I did. Okay, right out the back door, this was my lettuce bed, and I kind of went and pulled pots and things that are still going into this area. One, so that they're all in the same spot. Two, because I'm trying to make these walls taller so my dogs stop digging. So I have two mini Aussie Doodles, and they like to dig in my planter. They're both young. One's a year and one's just a couple months old. So I also put these fake grass things down here in the rock bed for the winter because they are giant babies. They're scared of the dark. So this will be somewhere they can use the bathroom and not have to go out into the backyard in the winter. We'll see how well that works. Last year, Bella pooped at my deck. So let's all see how little part this works. So this has got snapdragons, which we got our first hard frost the other night. It was 29, but it couldn't have been for too long because a lot of things lived. This chamomile, that still lived. My peas are good, but they can take a frost. These zinnias are all damaged, but I just cut these ones off, some plants that I pulled out. And then I've got my strawberries in here. And then these zinnias are not cut, they're on the plant. You can see they're damaged. They're not dead, but I'm leaving a couple of them in here. My dahlias are right here. Look, it couldn't have, like, see, this is a dahlia. Now my backyard's very protected. Some calendula, they can take a frost. My backyard's pretty protected because I have got, it's all privacy fenced in. So see, I got some over here too. So they're all shielded, so they can take a little bit of a frost. My salvia, yeah, so I got a lettuce pot. That's a thing I'm trying to grow. That is something from my Boucher's yard that I'm trying to regrow. And I will think of it after I'm done making this video, I'm sure. So that's kind of all the living stuff I kind of brought over here. And then I just kind of cleaned up the deck. These are all the pots that I got that never got planted. That may or may not make it. But I'm not sure if they'll come back next year. So I want to keep their tags on them so I know what was in the pot. And if it regrows, great. That's got a little blueberry bush in it. And that's the tree I'm trying to save. I got them up against the house. Hopefully that gives them a little bit of shelter for the winter. Got this all cleaned up. Everything off the fence. All my tomatoes are gone. My peppers are gone. I really should clean those tomatoes out of there so I don't have 8,000 baby tomato plants, but there's only so many things a girl can do in a day. My onions I'll leave alone. These flowers I'll leave here. These are gaillardia. Aren't they pretty? Called blanket flower. And they'll make these seed heads that look like this. And then these will just drop. See them all? They'll just drop right here and they'll come up again next year. And then I got snapdragons in here. I left the giant sunflower stalks because they're really tall. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. Look at this funny thing. This squash grew through the netting of my chicken coop. So if I cut it out, there will be a giant hole there. So I'm just going to leave it alone. Yeah, why not? Look at these snapdragons back here. I love snapdragons. Back here my green stalks are pretty much empty except for a couple flowers that are annual that'll die. And then I just picked all my pots off the ground. I got them up onto something so that the ground is okay. Because in the winter time, when my ground freezes, this tends to block water from getting out of my backyard and it gets muddy. So I try and keep everything up as much as I can to not get in the way when it freezes over. Back gazebo, back pergola, what are we calling it? All cleaned up. Anything that's alive still is kind of in this corner. I pulled all my vines down, cleaned out my wheelbarrow of flowers. Right here's where I'm putting all my compost. Chickies! What up? You can see I've been cleaning up nasturtium since half of it died. So they got a snack of nasturtium and a watermelon I found. Yeah, and then I've got my big compost pile there. So these guys all kind of made it still. These are called marigold, monster marigolds. They did not get super big, but they also didn't get a lot of sun. So they're still going. I do have some nasturtium still going, and then I got cosmos still going. So, and those are my carrots. They will take a frost. I'll take a couple frosts if I want them. So until I've got more time, they're gonna live there. So that's kind of just where I'm at. Today I just wanted to get through the backyard. I'll leave these cattle panels and stuff up probably. It's just easier. I don't have anywhere to store them really, so they're just gonna store in place. And yeah, just a quick look. Halfway, not quite halfway, maybe a third of the way through. Hopefully this weekend I can make a little bit more progress. Okay, one thing I forgot to show you. This is my drying station. This is the time of the year to save seeds from things that you want. So I have got this little contraption that my daddy made me. It's just got chicken wire here, and I just put it over a couple chairs, and I put things in it to stay dry. Now, they're in here because I did put them in buckets, and they didn't stay dry, so they're drying out. These are all zinnia heads. I'll just keep throwing them in here as they dry out for the year, and then I'll take care of those. I've got some salvia. See when it dries out? Those are the little seeds. I've got all the beans that I found, and then it looks like I got some asters here. So as I clean up, I find seeds for things that I want to save. I'm just throwing them in here, where even if they get wet, they will dry back out because of the chicken wire. And then when I have a little bit of time, or when it starts to get really cold, I'll bring them all in and sort them out and put them in envelopes with the year and what they are on them. All right, now that's what I've got done.